I've got a confession to make, Crooked Gap Farm friends, and no, the confession isn't that I quit making videos because, well, that's obvious. The confession is a long time ago when I was still making videos, I said we are going to move to Crooked Gap Farm 2.0. The farm is going to change. It's going to become more efficient, more lean, more set up, more everything, just a way better farm. And the reality is that none of that really happened. I still have stuff just parked in random places. I've got junk out in front of the hoop house in random places. And of course, I've got stuff just parked out in the middle of the tractor. But the big thing that I did when I started cleaning up is I made a pile. No, I'm not talking about that pile. The pile that I'm talking about is this pile right here, this big pile of wood and wagon and things that just need to disappear from the farm. And there's a bunch of metal in there that I'm gonna have to clean up too. Old knit wrap, posts that are rotten, wood that is rotten, beams that are rotten. Today is the day that we light that on fire. As you can see though, there wasn't much progress made on Crooked Gap Farm 2.0, and I do want to address that a little bit, not so much in this video right here, but if you go down to the notes below this, or the, oh, this is wire stuck in the grass here. If you go down to the notes below this video, there's like, you know, links and stuff like that. I'm gonna put a link to a podcast episode. Yes, I recorded a podcast episode talking about what happened to Crooked Gap Farm 2.0 and maybe why Crooked Gap Farm 2.0 changes were a good thing, because what happened is I realized that the cleanliness of the farm and the efficiency and the leanness of a farm, all of that was very important, and those things are still to come. But there was a bigger deal, and that was record keeping, and that is actually what I kind of got my mind wrapped around. But enough of that. Let me tell you what I have been working on to kind of clean and organize and lean down the farm, and then I'm going to get the family and we'll start that on fire. This is an area of the farm that honestly is underutilized. Now, I do graze back here, but you can also tell that I just came and mowed back here. And the reason that I did was because the thistles were just awful. Things like this little guy right there. They're not huge, tall Canadian thistles. They're just annoying, small, prickly thistles. And so I'm going to try to get the grass to outcompete those. I think that's my best bet right now. If you've got any ideas, drop it in the comments down below. But what I would like to utilize, and what Becca, my wife, has the great idea, is utilizing this as like parking for things. If you look over beyond this little manure pile right here, there's the stock trailer back there, there's an old chicken wagon, there's a grain wagon right there, just all sorts of different things. If we could get those things all parked in one place, then that opens up and allows that area over there to be more utilized. So I'm slowly making my way through. The goal is to get things parked back here, and then I don't know what the goal is. What am I saying? Who am I kidding? The reality is I'm not very good at long-term goals these days, so the goal is to make this pile smaller. Even though it was a little rainy today, I had some nice dry thistles in there and some knit wrap, so it should take off right away. Truth be told, there's a lot of metal in there, so what my plan is to burn it down as much as it can, come back in, take out the big hunks of metal, and then go over it with a magnet, pick up as much as I can. There are a few other things that need to be burned, so I'll probably just kind of turn this into a burn pile for a while, continuing to go through there with the magnet, that kind of deal. And then, oh great, now the wind picked up. And then, well, we'll figure it out. I thought it might be a good idea to kind of try to push the pile in a little bit, but with that big frame in there, it looked kind of like a disaster. So I think the better part of valor is just to let that baby burn. All in all, I'm pretty pleased with how that went. It burned down pretty well. There's still obviously a lot of heat in there, but with the damp ground around it and as low as the fire's gotten, I'm not too concerned about it now, so I'll let it keep burning. I'm going to do some other work outside here. I'll just keep checking on it. Speaking of piles though, I've got this one behind me. This is a compost pile, or mostly composted pile, I guess I should say, that is almost as tall as the 4430 is and longer than the 4430. It is probably, goodness, it's probably 5 years worth of compost from the hoop house and from the cattle lot. Well, no, because there's also a pile in the cattle lot and a pile at the end of the hoop house as well. What is going to happen with this though is this is not going to get spread on the field. I have so much manure to spread that I'm going to put this into the area where I put the bales in the ravine to try to build some more soil there, fill that in. It seems to be working well, but that's a story for another day. I don't know when it will happen. I just do know that it will happen. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, whatever, you know the deal. Oh, and don't forget, like I said, I do have a podcast out now talking about Crooked Gap Farm 2.0. It's the Beginning Farmer Show. Find it on Apple Podcasts. Thank you all so much for watching.